Hello and welcome to my Southern Exposure. This is Joseph Manuel. Hello, welcoming you all to our new show. Today's date is June 21st, 2020. I first of all want to thank everyone. We have over 9,000 views in less than 4 weeks. So part of that's because of me and part of that's because of my fabulous co-hosts. So what I want to do first is toss it over to Rajee Narinesingh. Rajee, how's your week going? What do you got to say?
Hello, everyone. Hi. It's great to be here. Oh my God, what are we on week number 5? Is this show 5? Oh my God, amazing, amazing.
I know.
And you know, as the weeks go along, it seems like we get new viewers, and I'm just so happy to see this growing. So we have a really big show today. I'm excited, and as you all probably can see, there's a little more light on the subject tonight. And I'll share more about my week. I had a very, very eventful week, so I'll share more later on in the show. But now I'm going to toss it to Mickey.
Hi, guys. Hope everyone's doing well this week. Hope everyone is staying safe and that all of you are wearing masks if you're going outside. That's the most important thing right now. Please wear a mask. That way all of this will be a lot more bearable and things will be a lot easier. I hope that everyone is also keeping abreast of things that are going on right now. Obviously, there's understandably been a lot less press and attention that's been paid on the protests that have been going on with regards to police brutality and defunding the police. I strongly suggest that people keep paying attention to that. This is something that people have been talking about for a very long time now, and it is up to us as informed citizens to keep ourselves informed and to keep on top of things. And with that said, if anyone has any events or any organizations that they would like us to shout out during the show with regards to the protests that have been going on, or if you have a COVID mutual aid fund or something along those lines, you can always email us. I'm at Mick at mySouthernExposure.site. Again, that's Mick at mySouthernExposure.site. Then there's also Rajee at mySouthernExposure.site. And obviously Joseph, the one in charge, he is at Joseph at mySouthernExposure.site. So with that, I'm going to toss it back over to our fearless leader, Joseph.
Thank you so much for saying it that way, but I'm happy that you reminded everyone about the email addresses that we have. So thank you very much for that, Mick, and thank you also as well, Rajee. What I want to do is do a brief introduction about what the show is going to be. So big pharmacy is one of the topics that I would like to discuss. And I'm actually pulling up information on the other computer to make certain that I have the most up-to-date information. Same thing with COVID as well. And the subtopic is mainstream advertising. Part of what I'm interested in getting your opinion, as well as the people who are watching at home, to let them know about that, is how it affects us differently than from watching a show like this. We're not sponsored or promoted or advertised by gigantic corporations. We are a grassroots, quote unquote, kind of company. So, and then we also do have segments. So I put my headphones back on so I can hear better. I don't have the best hearing. I know it might have sounded okay before, but I can't hear so well. So I put my headphones back on. Rajee's got the trans update. Music Mick has his perspective. And then I have a COVID update as well. So what I want to do now is talk about a few companies that are local that would definitely benefit from people using their services. WeGo LLC is a local company that operates in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that services Wilton Manors, Middle River Terrace, and Oakland Park areas. If you pre-plan with them, you can make your life a lot easier during these stress-filled times. If you need a ride to work or you need your grocery shopping done, they even do laundry services as well. There's no contact, no touch options. Make things safe for you and the drivers and delivery people as well. They will be wearing face masks and shields. In addition, after each and every passenger in the car, they will be sanitizing as well. You can visit www.wecollc.app to learn more. If you plan your trip 24 hours in advance, I would suggest that because they have to plan and clean and everything else. Don't forget, contact them today. You will definitely not regret it. If you are looking for a cleaning solution in the Wilton Manors, Middle River Terrace area of Fort Lauderdale, do I have the answer for you? Yes, I definitely do. Trustworthy Cleaners has been cleaning houses, vacation rentals, pools, boats, and cars for over 10 years. They do have some new procedures and protective measures, but they are open and ready to serve you. Now with no contact options to keep you and their employees safe. Email them directly at trustworthycleaners33304@gmail.com. They have excellent references, local workers. You can support a local business today by reaching out to them. trustworthycleaners33304@gmail.com. And of course, my favorite printing company that's right around the corner from where I live, Minuteman Press, is right here in Wilton Manors, and they design and print to promote you. It's their business to help your business grow. Minuteman Press is there for all of your printing needs. Make sure to call 954-731-5300. Minuteman Press is located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, just south of Wilton Drive on 4th Avenue. Just call 954-731-5300 today to learn more. Tell them Southern Exposure sent you. So let's talk about the first topic. Mick and Rajee, I would love to hear what either of you have to say about big pharmacy. That's a bit of a big topic. So I'm going to be pulling up the most current information to add on to everything that I already have. And I want to get Rajee's perspective first, and then we can go over to Mick.
Okay, so for me, my father was East Indian. He was actually from he was of South Asian descent from Trinidad. But you know, our Ayurvedic medicine has been around for like thousands of years. And so growing up, I always was aware of, you know, more of a holistic type of medication and with herbs and also healing and that perspective. But growing up here in America and being American, you know, this is the Western part of the world, right? And westernized. And pharmaceutical has been a big part of that from, you know, as long as I can remember. And as I've gotten older, I think it's become even more, you know, more driven by pharmaceutical companies and the doctors and the medical, I would say the medical resources that we have in this country. Now, this week, speaking from a personal experience, I hadn't been feeling good for a while. I knew something was wrong. None of the COVID symptoms, so don't get scared. Don't worry, I won't sneeze or cough on you. But no, I hadn't been feeling good for about, I would say, a good month or so. And I was like, excuse my French, peeing like a cart horse. I never do that. Like in the middle of the night, getting up to go to the bathroom, the pee-pee, that never happened. And I was getting up like 4, 5, 6 times a night. Dry mouth, always thirsty, not able to quench my thirst, feeling very fatigued. And then this week, I started feeling the heaviness on the chest. So my doctor's office, they weren't seeing anyone for a while. up until last week. And as soon as I found out that they were seeing patients, I called and made an appointment for blood because I'm like, something is not right. So I went in on Tuesday, and I even asked the nurse, "Can you check my blood pressure?" That was fine. I said, can you check my heart rate?" That was fine. So then I said to myself, well, if there's anything wrong, it's going to come back in the blood. And sure enough, Tuesday morning, first thing, my phone rings, and it's my doctor's office. And my doctor is on the phone, and she's like, Rajee, what is going on? She's like, your sugar level, your glucose blood level is really, really high. And she's like, you need to go to the emergency room right away. And I'm like, really, doctor, are you sure? Like, is there anything I can do here at home? She's like, no. She's like, you have to go to the emergency room. So long story short, I got myself together. I ended up going to the emergency room, Holy Cross Hospital in Fort Lauderdale on Federal Highway. Oh my God. When I tell you, they are fabulous. From the minute I walked in to the minute I walked out, they treated me so well. And you know, as a transgender woman, I always worry when I have to go somewhere like that, how people are going to treat me. So I get there and they're doing all sorts of tests, EKG. They took like 6 tubes of blood. They checked my sugar level and it was over 500. And the machine only goes up to 500. And the nurse looked at the doctor and she said, oh my God, she's off the charts. Like, you know, so then they started giving me IVs. Like, I had 30 units of IVs, 3 IVs, 30 units. And then they ended up having to give me a insulin shot. Took a while. First they checked it again. It was only 480. It was going down real, real slow. But eventually they got it down to about 300. So I share this story because for me, I do think that a lot of the medicines that we have, you know, the pharmaceutical medication, they are life-saving. I mean, you know, I asked the doctor, I said, you know, if I hadn't have come, do you think I would have gotten better? He said, no, it actually probably would have gotten worse. He said, what I needed was something to bring my sugar glucose level or glucose blood level down. And then once it got down, he said, then, you know, we can work on like my diet and, you know, also maybe upping my metformin that I take and that sort of thing. So what I'm trying to say with that long story is that my personal experience with my life and my journey is that I think I found combining the two, like the holistic with, you know, the westernized pharmacy or pharmaceutical company, and that sort of medicine has worked for me. And I mean, really, we can't deny it. There are medications that are truly life-saving. But I will say this in closing on this topic. I think that a lot of the medications that you're put on, like your doctor puts you on, it's almost like it's so systematic to the point that you're on it and it's going to keep the disease or the illness at bay, but it doesn't cure it. So therefore, then you have to continue taking these medications for most likely the rest of your life. I know that there's people I've talked to that have been on diabetes medication, and because they started exercising and eating right, they were able to get off the medication. So, you know, it's interesting how the westernized medicine, it's more based on keeping a disease at bay, like, you know, a chronic disease, and you continue to take your medication as opposed to curing the problem, like solving the problem, curing the disease, and getting you off the medication. So on that note, I know I can run my mouth, but I'll throw it over to Mickey.
Thanks for that, Rajee. And I, I mean, where to start, honestly, with Big Pharma, as Joseph pointed out. It's in the title, it's massive. There's a lot of layers to it. And on for one thing, definitely agree with Rajee that there is a tendency for Big Pharma to alleviate symptoms but not get to the root cause of things. So things like painkillers are the reasons why America is now in the middle of an opioid epidemic, in addition to the current pandemic that is also going on. One of the reasons that happened is because families like the ones who are responsible for oxycodone, which actually, or oxycontin, oxycodone, honestly, it's all the same thing. It's all really bad painkillers that aren't really all that good for us, especially when prescribed recklessly by medical professionals. But I remember that the family who was responsible for those painkillers deliberately kept out of the information about the product that it is highly addictive. And they hid that from medical professionals, they hid that from their patients, and allowed people to get addicted to this type of medication. So I definitely think that profits play a huge well, profits play the defining role when it comes to big pharma, because on the surface level, you think, all right, these big pharmaceutical companies are out here trying to create cures for disease and trying to alleviate the pain in our lives. But the thing is that they're really fundamentally out to make money for themselves, which is evidenced by the family that lied about OxyContin and oxycodone being addictive. In addition to that, if you also look at the race for the coronavirus vaccine, another problem that people are worried about is that there are so many different patents in big pharma, from the development of a drug to the way that it's even administered, whether it's administered through a shot or you ingest it, however you take it. All of that's, every single piece of a drug's creation is basically is oftentimes under some sort of copyright. And so that means that when people are going about trying to create a new vaccine, they have to sidestep a lot of these patents. They have to not be able to use certain types of drugs because certain types of drugs are patented by other pharmaceutical companies, which again just goes to show that this whole system is for profit and not for the benefit of the people. And it is something that people should be aware of because, well, this is a prime example of people being prioritized or being prioritized less than profits itself. Because if if big pharma really cared about actually curing people and helping people, they would just throw all the patents out the window and be like, we are just going about trying to find a vaccine as soon as we can with whatever means necessary. So that's something that I think people don't really talk about enough. But I'm going to pass it over to Joseph now, because I think we've both given a decent amount of our own opinions, and I want to hear what information he's pulled up.
Thank you so much, Mick. I greatly appreciate that. So one of my main concerns about big pharmacy is that there are a lot of drugs out there that are negatively affecting our community, meaning the LGBTQ community. That's my main concern. But it also transfers into every community, not just us. An example would be, I should say several examples would be the drugs that are being used, or should say that had been used in the past to treat or keep HIV in check. Truvada, Atripla, those medications that were used before. And then I tried to warn people about PrEP several years ago, right when it came out. And I know that there's a lot of good things about a lot of these drugs, and a lot of people need them. But my concern is exactly partially what Mick said, and also partially what Rajee said, is that I think in most of the cases with big pharmacy, all they're concerned about is the profit, and then whatever the loss is, which is human life, they really just have a little line item. So it's going to cost 20 million to pay out lawsuits down the line, because of the negative ramifications of these drugs. But these drugs are in people's bodies for their entire life. Those people are stuck with that problem. Some person might get $50,000 from a lawsuit, and that's not going to help them for the rest of their life. Just like someone having, injections done in their body, then that were passed off as a good injection, like Rajee had before, or someone who took their drug that was prescribed to them for HIV to make certain that they would be undetectable. Some of those people have had good instances, just like Rajee and just like other people, that they've moved past that. But the majority of people are out there. They took the drugs that their doctor prescribed to them. They did exactly like they were supposed to do. They did exactly everything that they were supposed to do. And there's ramifications that are lifelong. It's not just a $50,000 ticket to get money. And the part that I have a problem with big pharmacy is that big pharmacy it has very deep pockets, and it's not just the drugs that are being passed on the street, not saying on the street, but I mean in doctors' offices for painkillers and everything else, but also something as simple as stuff that's on TV. And that's a little bit of a segue into our next topic about mainstream media advertising. The part that I have a problem with is that the drugs that are being prescribed, a lot of them are hurting people. They're not being held responsible. And then if there's not something wrong with you, then they're trying to tell you that there is something wrong with you. You're too fat, you're too thin, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too black, you're too white, you're too dumb, you're too smart. And they want to try to funnel us all down into this little thing. So the people that are already healthy think that they have to be more healthy. The people that are already sick think that they need to figure out a way to get better. The people that are old just want to be happy and try to be either one of those to get by. So that's my whole problem with big pharmacy. And actually part of the transition with that was into mainstream media advertising. There are so many ads, I'm sure that Mick and also Rajee have seen while we've been stuck at home over the last 3 months. Ever since everyone got their quote unquote stimulus check, I don't know if you noticed it, Mick, or you, Rajee, but there's a whole brand new layer of things. You can buy your face masks, you can buy your face shields, you can get this drug, you can get that drug, you can get everything you want sent to you at home. And I don't know, because the part with mainstream media that I have a problem with is it's very tiny, that little tiny print. You're gonna need one of these to be able to read it. You're gonna be like this. You gotta look at that screen and see that print on there. And if it's a radio station advertisement, it's gonna say it so quickly, blah, 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 blah. And the end result is that mainstream media, I feel, is not interested in Mick or Rajee or the majority of the people. They're interested in just pushing out the information and making as much money as possible. And that's part of what with my Southern Exposure is no one's going to be advertising on our show unless they have a good moral fiber and they want to help people and they have something that we can do to help them do that in a positive direction. So, looks like Mick just made really big eyes. I don't know what that means, but I don't care how much money you got. I'm not going to be accepting no checks from you to advertise unless you have a good heart inside of your being. But that's my perspective. I'm going to toss it over to Rajee first. to talk about what you think about mainstream media advertising.
Okay, so I just wanted to say, like you really see the examples of how pharmaceutical companies are driven by like money and, profit. The example that I remembered while Mick was pointing that out, and being more, elaborating more on it, was that, remember the EpiPen and the scandal with that? And how much they were charging for that there, and it just kept going up and up and up and up. And then when they got called out, they came out with what they call a cheaper version. What's the word? You go to the pharmacy, you can get the actual version from the company, and then there's the
generic version.
The generic. Thank you. I had a middle box. The generic version. So that's like I think a great example of like how it's driven by money. Now, in regards to advertising, advertising is powerful. The power of advertising and the different methods that are used in advertising. I mean, I have a girlfriend that said you could get people to come from all around the world to see a ham sandwich if the advertising is done, right. I mean, all of the different like smoke and mirrors around advertising and getting into people's psyches. And so it's powerful and it's on so many different levels. It's with clothes and makeup and all sorts of things, jewelry, cars. Oh my God, these car commercials are like, by the time you see a car commercial, you're like, oh my God, that's like you get into it, it's almost like a movie. And even with Publix, their holiday commercials, oftentimes when they come out with the holiday commercials, I'm crying at the end of the commercial because it's so touching and endearing. And so the power of advertisement, it's strong. It's strong. And there's no exception when it comes to big pharma. Now, it's interesting when they advertise a medicine, a medication for a particular thing, right? They have this beautiful commercial, but then during like about midway through the commercial, they'll say, well, it'll cure this or it'll alleviate this, but it could cause cancer, diabetes, and then they go down a whole list, facial warts, and then and then at the end, death. So and in extreme cases, death. So that's pretty interesting. They have to give that long list. And isn't it interesting how something that can cure like a particular condition, it causes something else. So I think it's really a balancing act with people. People have to be their own advocate. And you go to the doctor and you just don't accept like, oh, take this medication. You want to research, do your own research, and figure out what's going to be your best path. Let me tell you something. I've had infections where I thought I was going to die. That you get a bacterial infection and you're just like, oh my God, you're at your wit's end, your stomach is killing you or whatever, and you're like hunched over. And then you go to that doctor and get that Z-Pack, and you take that one pill and already you feel better, like within minutes, like you feel it working, and you start to perk up, and then you take the next pill, and by the time you finish the Z-Pack, you're better. So I'm not going to sit here and criticize westernized medicine because in many cases it's helpful. But again, like I said, I think it's a balancing act and it's an individual case by case. You as a person, everyone has to be their own advocate and be, or at least have someone in your corner that's advocating for you and, researching this stuff, just not, you're not just given a medication, you're taking it and you're not knowing what exactly it's doing and the side effects that it may have. So anyway, Mickey?
Yeah, definitely. With regards to advertising, I think that maybe just to tie it into more of the topic that we were talking about at hand, where it's sort of tied into big pharma. I mean, um, there are so many different drugs that are out on the market that are being advertised that aren't technically FDA approved. Um, so I think that there is some level of people need to have. I talked about this last week when or maybe not last week, but whenever we talked about social media, but that people need to have discernment when they're looking at an ad, when they're looking at something and trying to examine, okay, who is the person who is advocating for this? Who is the person who, or what is the, not even the person, what is the corporation that is behind the advertising for this? Who are the people who are going out of their way to advertise for this? What are their motives? What is it that they're trying to cure? And have there been situations where their product has done right by people? This does kind of bring me back as well to what Joseph was saying about Truvada and PrEP. For me personally, I know people who have taken Truvada and PrEP, and I know people who have used it and who have been okay using it, and it has kept them safe in terms of preventing any sort of like viral transmissions and keeping themselves and their partners safe. And really a lot of the first advertisements that I ever saw for PrEP and Truvada were through the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, which they have a number of free clinics out here in Los Angeles, which I've gone to before. They're really honestly lovely spaces where you can get all sorts of tests done. It's free of charge unless you want to make a donation while you're there. And that's why I personally think that while there are certainly a number of terrible drugs that aren't approved by anyone out there on the market that you should be careful of, I have heard a lot of concerns about PrEP and Truvada. I don't know that I'm necessarily ready at this point to write the drug entirely off, but I've never actually personally used it, and based on the research that I've looked at, I haven't seen anything officially that has come out to say that the drug is negatively affecting people. And if anything, I feel like we probably would have seen more of that, just because out here in LA, for a long time, it was advertised as you could get it for free. So if it's something so that definitely gave a lot of access to it. And if that's the case, I would have thought that we would have seen a lot more people saying that they had issues with it or that it caused terrible side effects. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who haven't voiced their concerns or who haven't voiced things that have happened to them while they were on Truvada or whatnot. But I know for a fact that it's still something that people are still trying to advertise. It's something that I see a lot of times during commercial breaks, just on during standard television shows. So it is something that is being marketed to the mainstream. And I guess maybe we'll see more things come to light as it's being advertised a little bit more. But for right now, I've gotten the impression that it's not, I at least have got, from what I can tell in the research that I've done, that it is not something that we necessarily need to worry about at this moment, or not necessarily not worry about, but it's not, I don't think that the questions and concerns with it are necessarily, how do I phrase this? Not that they're not valid, but that they might not be based in anything at the moment, just because I have not personally heard of anything that has explicitly shown that Truvada and PrEP are unsafe. If anything, I would argue that the alternative to not using them, not practicing safe sex habits, that's more dangerous than taking it. But that's just me. I'm gonna pass it over to Joseph now because I've been talking for a while. Can you hear me? Okay.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Mick. Just to give a little bit of personal experience, I don't take Truvada, I don't take PrEP, I don't need it. I'm HIV negative, but I do know a lot of people who have taken a tripla. So in addition to the tripla, Truvada and PrEP are all part of the same chemicals. So just to put that into perspective, I've been talking about this topic for probably, I don't know, 10 years. And my concern is that the long-term side effects, which are hard to actually pull up at this point, you have to really research them and look for them. 10 years ago, you could find them really quickly. A tripla, Truvada. I mean, first it was a tripla, and then there's other drugs also as well. I'm talking from personal experience from people that I know have taken these drugs. They have had skin cancer, mental disorders. They've had health issues in reference to eating, sleeping. We're talking about central nervous system disorder. Graves' disease, which can kill you, is one known side effect for a tripla. So we're talking about you take a medication that your doctor pushes you onto when you're in a room and you trust that person, and that person, you believe they know what they're talking about, but all they want to do is make that big pharmaceutical money. And you can both pull it up. I can see you both typing at the same time. You can pull it up. It's going to take a while for you to get all the information, all the research that I've done for 10 years. But it's one of those things where a tripla is extremely deadly, extremely dangerous. It's hurt a lot of people, and it's not something that's going to go away. Those problems that were created by the person taking that medication, just like Truvada, which is a little slightly different version, a tripla actually had a less poisonous version, and they waited, which is tying into part of what Rajee talked about, and also Mick, that once the patent runs out, then you come up with the newer version. You don't have to wait for a patent to run out. You can come out with a new version as soon as you know that there's serious complications with it. There are like short-term, long-term, and life-threatening problems and complications that come up with these drugs. And part of the reason why I'm talking about this is that there's a lot of people out there that are watching these commercials that are like, oh, well, she's trans. She's saying it's okay. I should take it. Why not? It's fine. It's just lovely. It's like a little M&M. Oh, he looks really hot. He looks like a really sexy guy. And I should take it as well. That's just fabulous. Let's just pop it in like an M&M. My whole point with that and my sarcasm was meant on purpose for both of you, as well as the audience members at home, to understand that you need to seriously look at the medication before you agree to take it. Get the information, become informed, don't take it. Don't let your doctor tell you what to do. You need to be informed. You need to make the decision because it's your life. That doctor is not getting paid because of just you. That's not happening that way. They're making money from some of the pharmaceutical companies. And I don't know if any of you have ever noticed it before, but when you're sitting in a doctor's office, you see that little hot guy that walks in with a little bag on his arm. He's the pharmaceutical rep. Or you see the pretty little girl walking in with the tits up to here. That's a pharmaceutical rep. That's a pharmaceutical rep because big pharmacy is making money. And they're only going to continue to make money if they keep you sick. The point is for them to keep you sick, from my perspective. So I think that there's a lot more that needs to be discussed about this topic. We could have 5 or 6 hours to talk about it. And it's something that I want to continue to discuss at another time. But that's my big main concern. And Rajee, go ahead, because it sounds like you're ready to say something.
Well, yeah, the thing is, I sit here and I'm a little torn because I was here in the days when I call it the horror days of HIV and AIDS, where people were dropping like flies, and thousands of people died from it. And so, it wasn't until the medications got better that people started to live. Now, and that was about '96 when that happened, when there was the inhibitors were released from the pharmaceutical companies, and it allowed the virus to be, it allowed us to be able to suppress the virus so that it would stop mutating. Because the problem is that the reason why the virus was so strong and so many people were dying, it was that the virus was so intelligent, it was constantly mutating. So whenever you got a medicine to be able to, an antiviral, to be able to suppress it, it would then just change its DNA and, go at it again, and it was killing so many people. I mean, I saw them dropping like flies. So I sit here and really, I have to say, we've come a long way. HIV/AIDS, I mean, now people can pretty much live, I would say, a relatively long life with medication. But I also have to say, again, because I said this already before, is it's case by case. It's an individual thing. What works for you might not work for me. Your medication, your medicine might be my poison. So, so
right.
I think
that's exactly my whole point though, Rajee. Not to cut you short, and I just do want to say hello to the fabulous Carlitta in Cleveland, Ohio, with the beautiful background behind. We'll get to you in a second, honey. So we're in a little bit of a heated discussion because we all have three different perspectives. That's just the way that it is. But my concern, Rajee, is that do you think that it's acceptable that we just want to live? I understand that people were dropping like flies before. Now, if you just live, that's okay. So you should be okay in your little studio apartment and have to go to every doctor appointment and be miserable and not be able to not to be able to be around family, not to be able to get around, not to be able to have a job, just because you're on a medication that is actually slowly killing you. Which is better? Would it be better for people to drop like flies? Or is it better to let them string out over a long period of time and have a horrible life just because they're on a medication that we all know each one of us has to do the math on that to figure out which is more important. Wouldn't you better have a higher quality of life, a better quality of life, instead of just getting by, which is what's happening to a lot of people in our community, actually, directly. It's a lot of people out there that are just getting by, and they have to go to a food bank. They can't have a job. They have so many doctor's appointments. They don't know what to do. You and me and a lot of other people in our community are completely different than that. Carlitta, I don't know if you have your microphone signed off or muted yet, but if you could just leave it on there, that would be great, honey.
Yeah, I just want to say that, yeah, that's true. But then there's so many people that have HIV that are living vibrant, wonderful lives. So, I think, again, it comes down to individuality. And for you to say, oh, well, it's better for someone to just drop dead and lose 20 years of life that they could have had. I mean, I don't think that's your call. I don't think it's your call. I think it's the person's call. It's the individual person and their decision. And also, it's based on what happens with the person, because there's people that you describe. There's people that you describe. But there's also, on the flip side, so many people that are living pretty decent lives that have HIV/AIDS and they're on medication and they're living. So I mean, that's where it gets very, very I would say
confusing.
It gets very deep. It gets very deep because there's so many different levels to it. I lost my good friend, Ronald Allen. He was a beautiful dancer. And he died at 21 years old. And at 21, at his funeral, you know, we thought we were grown and we were so old and we had lived so much life. But there's times now that I think about Ronald and I think about, my God, how much more life I've lived compared to Ronald Allen. And I think about, wow, if there were medications to help him at that time, you know, the life that he could have had, you know, the more experiences and you know, relationships and all of that he could have had. And so, you know, I think about those people that, you know, were taken, and he had a scholarship for dance in New York. He was a talented dancer. He had so much potential, and the disease just wiped him out, and it wiped him out in less than a year.
Well, I agree with you completely, Rajee. And I know a lot of people who've already passed, and this is back from the 80s, or I should say 90s, from when I first was an adult. So, but by the same token, the big pharmacy concern that I have is that people go into a doctor's office, they tell them, here's a Tripla, here's Truvada, here's Prep, this is what you need to take. That person believes it because that's a doctor telling them what to say, that's what I'm supposed to do. And a lot of those people don't have an opportunity to think. That's my concern. They need to look at the medication. They need to know what the short term, the long term, and also the rare effects are. That was the whole reason why I brought up the whole big pharmacy thing. And actually the other part is that people should ask their doctor. And if the doctor is not receptive to this, then you need to find a new one. From my perspective, they need to know from that doctor if there are other options available. If you eat well, you get lots of sleep, you're not promiscuous. There's a lot of things, exercise. There's a lot of things you can do to keep your viral load low and in check just by being more aware of who you are as a person. So I don't think that just taking a pill is the answer to anything in life in general. So that's my closing thought about that topic. It's a very heated topic, obviously, Rajee, for you and me, and I believe also Mick, while he's taking a sip from his water cup. I just want to say hello really quickly to Carlitta, if you are available and ready to give us a Cleveland, Ohio update. We would all love to look and listen to you. And the floor is for you, Carlitta.
I feel bad and I apologize, but people keep on calling and it keeps knocking me off. They keep calling to get in on Father's Day.
All right. How about we focus on you for right now? It's a little 5-minute segment to focus on you. So how about you just not answer those calls and for 5 minutes?
I'm ignoring them, but for some reason it keeps cutting it out and then going back in. But the weather is not as beautiful as it is here, I'm sure, as it is there. Everything is, you know, on the low for us. The COVID has like slowed down. More clients are coming in. A lot of people are coming in, getting pampered. Today is, of course, Father's Day. We were very, very busy. And the spa industry is booming. It's been extremely busy for everybody. Massages, facials, pedicures, haircuts, colors, highlights. I think the hair part slowed down, but the spa treatments are very, very, very busy for us. Lots of couples.
That's good. Obviously, that's a good thing for you, Carlitta, and I'm happy to hear that everything is going well for you. But the most important part of you being on the show is for people up in Cleveland, Ohio to know how to get a hold of you, what your phone number is, what your email address is, and where to go. Because from what I understand, you're working on a brand new salon somewhere. So do they go to the old salon? Do they go to the new salon? Or do they just come out to their car? Tell them at home so that they know.
If they would like to come now, I am located in North Olmsted, and we are on the corner of Clegg and Lorraine Road, and I'm attached to Starbucks and Robex. And where I'm going to be is the old Rosso Gelato building in Rocky River, in Old Rocky River. And it's 19056 Old Rocky River, and it's Detroit Road, and it's in Rocky River, Ohio. And our phone number is 440-444-8827. And we're open 7 days a week for your convenience.
What is your website? Do you have a website or no?
It's right now it is LASAJSPA.com. And
You're going to have to say that again a little bit slower because people are trying to grab their pen to write it down.
Okay.
You got to let people know what it is. Otherwise, they can't come and see your beautiful face or experience the wonderful treatment.
It's called Lassage Spa Lounge. So the website is LASAJSPA.com.
Mick or Rajee, do you have any questions for the fabulous Carlitta? We haven't seen her in a week, I think.
Yes, in fact. Well, the first thing I wanted to say is that my dad actually bought a gift card for my mother for her birthday today for your spa. So I know that she's really excited for that.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And so I don't know exactly when she'll use it, but I know that you mentioned that you're in North Olmsted on Clegg and Lorraine right now. I wrote it all down and all the other information. So how long will you be there, and then when do you move to the Old River spot?
We will be located here probably for about a month more.
A month.
And then we will be at the new location. I'm thinking the middle of July, end of July.
Okay, good to know. I'll relay that along to them as well.
I'll take very good care of them. I'm excited.
Yeah, of course. I'm really excited for her. I know that she'll really, really enjoy that. And especially since it's an Old River, that's super close for my family. So
I love the new area. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. And I love, like, when the clients come in and you I feel like I pull all the negative out of them and I just kind of whoosh it away. I do a little Reiki sometimes and I just kind of wish nothing but good stuff on everybody. I feel like I'm taking a wet sponge and I'm squeezing it out, and then I fill them up with nothing but love.
Oh, nice. My mom will love that.
Aw.
Well,
at our new location.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What did you say, Joe?
No, please go ahead. I didn't mean to. I thought you were done. Please continue, Carlitta, at your new location.
So at the new location, we are going to be doing, it's going to be called Carlitta's Spa and Java Bistro.
Ooh. So coffee in addition?
Yes, I have the Italian Degano, like the Italian whipped coffees.
Yeah.
Greek, Turkish coffees. And I'll be serving my own brand of smoothies and shakes. I will be having my little girl that I drew. She's going to be our little on everything. She'll be the icon for everything that we have. I'm just excited.
Exciting. Yeah. That's great. I mean, my mom's going to love the coffee aspect of that too, because she is big on coffee.
Oh, wonderful. I have really cool coffee machines and then more personalized ones too. And then for the men, because I'll be having tables outside and inside, and I'm going to get, chess and I have glass sets for them to be able to play the chess sets and stuff, because we'll be opening at 5 a.m. for coffee in the morning and a biscotti, all homemade. So I'm pumped.
Exciting.
Yeah.
That sounds really super exciting, Carlitta. And I don't want to cut you short because you could be, we could talk for probably 5 or 10 hours in a row uninterrupted. But I do want to pass over to Rajee for an update with the trans community. Rajee, would you like to update everyone at home so we all know what's going on?
Well, first of all, I can't start the update until I congratulate you. I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
To think about, and then you're adding the bistro part, which I love. I mean, hey, you can't be a good massage with a nice smoothie, okay? I mean, I want to come and I need a massage really bad. So
I'll take good care of you.
I wish you all the best, all the best.
Thank
and
you.
It sounds like it's just going to be so wonderful because I love you combining the two. I love that. I love
Me
that.
too.
Yeah.
Something I've needed for a long time. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rajee.
So, okay, so as far as the trans community, wow. Well, this is Pride Month. And I was asked today to do a little video for a Facebook page that's pretty popular for LGBT people. It's called Born Gay. And he's having a celebration next week, Sunday, the 28th. It's virtual, it's online. It's going to be an all-day celebration to honor the Stonewall. But, as I was doing the video, I couldn't help to think that, this year, this Pride Month, we LGBTQ people, have a lot to be happy about and thankful for because our Supreme Court passed, LGBT work protection. And, my head was spinning. What I was that on Friday, before they passed it on Monday. So the Friday before, which was not this past Friday, but the Friday before, President Trump had passed he did an executive order, and he basically took away healthcare protections for transgender people. So I was so angry about that, and I did a video, and I was like really angry and upset. And then here comes Monday, and the Supreme Court of our country rules that LGBT people should have workplace or employment protection. So you can't be fired if you're working somewhere. You can't be fired for being LGBT. Q. I'm going to include the Q because, it's a whole umbrella. And so I just think that that's wonderful and it's a step in the right direction. My concern, though, is after I heard that, I was thinking, okay, that's great. If you're transgender, you're protected if you're working somewhere. But the question is anyone hiring?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, really, is anyone, are companies and businesses willing to hire trans people? So anyway, it's a step in the right direction for sure. And, when you have a law in place, what it does is, first and foremost, it gives consequences to people that, like in this particular case, would want to fire someone because they're gay or because they're lesbian or because they're trans. There's a consequence to that now. So it starts with law, and then eventually, hopefully, it trickles down into society and the mentality of people in society. So, for trans people, I think we're in a good place, and we just have to keep moving forward. In the video, I did remind people here in this country, LGBTQ people, let's not forget our LGBTQ family around the world. And, stand in solidarity with them, especially the ones that haven't come as far as we've come. I mean, we still have a long way to go, but we've come a long way. So anyway, that's my little report today.
Well,
I'm glad to see that smile.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you know what? We have two beautiful women that we get to look at, Mick. And you know what? Now it's time for you to talk about the music updates. And I hope you're ready because it's your little segment. So I presume that you have something ready to go.
I have a little something ready to go.
ready.
I love that shirt, Rajee.
Oh, you
I
love it?
love.
It is
I
a great
love-
shirt.
And all the fillings.
All right, girls. All right, ladies. Hey, ladies, don't forget to put your little microphone on mute for a second because now it's time for Mickey. It's time for Mick Jagger to talk for a second. Go ahead, Mick.
That's me, guys. So I'm here with another music update for you guys. And to be entirely honest, a lot of my update is very similar to last week. I hope that instead of using things like Spotify, if you're interested in trying to find new music and if you're looking to support artists directly, don't necessarily use Spotify. They take basically most of what Spotify does is they take pretty much all of the money that is made in streaming, leaving the artists with very little.
Wow.
So if you care about supporting artists, try to maybe support them directly, which is why I say that bandcamp.com is a really great place to go to. It is a place where you can buy directly from the artists, and it's a way to sort of support independent artists in a way that isn't really put on the forefront of music just in general. It's not really a lot of artists or acts that you would necessarily hear about in Billboard or Rolling Stone. These are a lot of independent artists who are just doing things on their own terms, and it's important that we support them because they're putting out a lot of great music out there. And another thing to know is that every first Friday of every month is known as Bandcamp Day, and all proceeds that are made that day go directly to an artist. So if you were to go online and go and visit, I'm trying to think of an artist as an example who would be on Bandcamp. I mean, the one that I will give as an example right now, they're called Radio Galaxy. They are a band from Houston, Texas, and they describe themselves as Afrofuturistic. So it's a lot of very dancey and futuristic sounding sounds. It's kind of like a mixture of, I have it written down here, but kind of a mixture of if you like Vampire Weekend, Kaytranada, and for those of you who are familiar with Khalees, who had that hit song Milkshake a number of years ago. Yeah. The lead singer kind of sounds like her, but they are a great band. I literally just discovered them the other day, and the album that I actually had listened to by them is an older album. I don't actually know if they're still putting out music now, but this was an album from 2018, but the album is called Nobody Digs Your Music But Yourself. I listened to the whole thing just a few days ago because I just discovered them. It's fantastic, and you can find them on Bandcamp, which actually there's another resource that I wanted to point out for Bandcamp, and I have it saved in my...
How do you spell that, Mick?
It's all one word, so it's just band and then camp. So Bandcamp, bandcamp.com.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Can we nominate
clearly-
people?
What do you mean by nominate people? Like
Or
nominate
can
people?
we, like, if we think somebody that's like an upcoming artist, can we put their music on there? Or do they have to do
They would have to do that, but honestly, if they are an up and coming artist, chances are they might already have a Bandcamp. And like I said, Bandcamp is not just, it's just not as well known as things like Spotify or iTunes, just because it's not really funded and backed by like the big major labels. It's primarily done through people who love music. They have a journalism or they have an editorial department who kind of helps sift through everything and offer what they can in terms of picks, but there is so much that you can find on Bandcamp. And one thing that's really helpful is there's a website called, you know what, I'll even write it down at the bottom of my thing. And you know what? I will get to it actually in a second because it ties into the rest of the artists that I'm talking to, or I'm talking about, except for one of them. But the next artist that I wanted to bring up, they're a rap group from Miami. They're called the City Girls. For people who like rappers like Trina. Also, if you like Drake, if you know that song "In My Feelings," they are the featured rappers in that song. So
Nice.
if you like "In My Feelings," you will love the City Girls. They just came out with a new album. It's called Jobs. It's really heavy hip hop. It's a lot about scamming men, which I can really get behind because men need to be scammed a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, their album is called Jobs, and they're called the City Girls. I don't know that they are on Bandcamp. If they are on Bandcamp, that's great. Support them on there. They're also, this is something else to kind of point out about Bandcamp. Oftentimes, not a lot of the bigger artists aren't necessarily going to be on Bandcamp, just because of the nature of what it is. But if they are on there, give them a buy, give them a support. And then the final song that I want to bring up is a song by this rapper called Cakes to Killa. He is a rapper, and he does a lot of ballroom style house music, rap music. So it's very upbeat for people who like Azealia Banks, for people who like LaKaylee 47. If you like 90s house music, this new song is actually really great for you. It's called Don Dada. I will pull it up right here. Yeah, Cakes to Killa, Don Dada. This is one of my favorite songs that I've heard this year. It is a banger. It moves very fast. It's very, very confident. And just to give you an idea of how great Cakes to Killa is I believe when this song was first released, all of the proceeds that were raised from it went straight to Black Lives Matter. So you know that he is great and fantastic. And another great thing about all of these artists is that they are all Black artists, which again, for the first for Bandcamp Friday, it's great to support artists. But especially at this time, it's great to support Black artists out there because, as we know, they need our support more than ever at this time. And a really helpful way to find Black artists through Bandcamp is this site that has been set up, but it's called blackbandcamp.info. And you can go through there and look at a massive database of artists ranging from house musicians to pop stars to punk bands to ambient to noise, really anything that you can think of, you can find through there. And I highly, highly recommend it before the next coming Bandcamp Friday because it's just an exhaustive resource. And if you're really looking for new music, I say that the best way to look for new music is just to kind of go at it blindly, like not entirely without any sort of discernment, like, but focus on what you like. If you think, all right, I really like country music, then maybe go into I'll pull it up again for you guys right here, but blackbandcamp.info, and then search the country section and just see if there's anything in there that kind of appeals to you. I think that there's no better way to really look for music if you want to do it on your own than just kind of go at it blindly. You never know what you're going to come across. But I'm going to give it back to Joseph now because I know I've been talking for probably past my allotted time.
We enjoyed it.
We totally enjoyed it, Carlitta and Mick. Thank you so much. And that's Black Band. What is it now? The bandcamp.info. Yep. Pull it up. Bring it up. Pull it up on the thing so I can see it.
I think he said.
No, he's pulling it up. He'll show it. Up to the right. There we go. Blackbandcamp.info. Once again, that's blackbandcamp.info. And the funny part, Rajee and Carlitta, is that don't you remember everyone talking about going to Bandcamp when we were kids? There was stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was in Bandcamp in high school. That was what we did for marching band.
Okay, I have to do my minimal COVID update because last week I didn't get to do it, and I got to do it. And we have the absolutely amazing, stellar, handsome smart, intelligent, and dashing Alan Beck, one of our sponsors that will be jumping online shortly to talk about what's going on with Fun Travel Guides. So, but first of all, I want to talk about the numbers here in Florida. I go directly to floridacovidaction.com. I don't go to any other website. I go to that website specifically because that person is the one who got fired from the state of Florida. Carlitta, if you can put it on mute for a second so I can talk about this, that would be absolutely lovely. I just want people to get the information. I don't mean to be rude by asking for that. But the important thing is that this lady got fired because she would not lie about the numbers. So she started her own website, floridacovidaction.com. She is taking donations. She is doing the right thing, giving the information to people down here. And unfortunately for us, Carlitta and Mick, our numbers are increasing almost exactly the way that I projected. So for today, we had 3,254 deaths. We've had 5 days in a row of increased COVID cases. Today's case load of brand new COVID was 3,493. The total COVID cases for the state of Florida is 105,772. And the numbers for the testing is only 925,036. The website that you go to actually pull up the information for the state of Florida is not the same. It's fudging some of that information. So I go to the floridacovidaction.com website. She's taking donations. She got fired because she didn't do what Governor DeSantis told her to do. He wanted her to not report the information. He wanted her to lie. She created her own thing, and it's been all over the news down here. So I'm very happy that she did what she did. That's my COVID update. But I do have to tell you about a couple of companies before we go over to Alan Beck, our sponsor. So WeGo LLC is a local company that operates here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It services Wilton Manors, Middle River Terrace, and Oakland Park areas as well. If you pre-plan with them, you can make your life a lot easier during these stress-filled times. If you need a ride to work, to or from work, or if you need to get your grocery shopping done, they even do your laundry services as well. No contact, no touch options. Make things safe for you and also safe for the drivers or delivery people. They will be wearing face masks as well as shields. And in addition to that, after each and every passenger in the car, they will be sanitizing as well. Visit www.wegolllc.app to learn more. Plan your trip at least 24 hours in advance because services are subject to availability. Don't forget, wegolllc.app. Contact them today. You will not regret it. If you are looking, I apologize, someone popped off and now they're coming back on. This is part of what happens when you're on a show. If you are looking for a cleaning solution in the Wilton Manors, Middle River Terrace area of Fort Lauderdale, do I have the answer for you? Yes, I do. Trustworthy Cleaners has been cleaning houses, vacation rentals, pools, boats, and cars for over 10 years. They do have some new procedures and protective measures, but they are open and they're ready to serve you. Now, with new no-contact options to keep you and their employees safe, you can email them directly at trustworthycleaners33304@gmail.com. They have excellent references. They use local workers. You have an opportunity to support a local business today by reaching out to them. That's trustworthycleaners33304@gmail.com. And this is a little bit of a teaser because Alan's sitting down there in the corner. You can't see him. The Fun Travel Guides. They are the publishers of travel guides for the LGBTQ plus so many things more than that. Have been working hard during the COVID lockdown. The new Fun Travel Guides will be coming out in print soon, but in addition to that, a digital version is well underway. And Alan Beck will talk with you about that shortly. Once you are ready to travel, look for the fun travel guides. They're local, regional, international options for anyone in the community looking to travel or have fun anywhere you want to go. If you're LGBTQ+, visit www.funtravelguides.com to learn more. And now I have to turn it over to the fabulously handsome and dashing Alan Beck. What's going on there, buddy?
Oh, I've been waiting in anticipation with bated breath to talk with all of you. It's great to see you, Joseph and Mick and Rajee and Carlitta. Woo!
Hi.
And Rajee has her new look on tonight. Woo!
Yes, she does.
I gotta keep it interesting.
Oh, you sure do. So are we all going to travel together to Key West? We'll have to fly Mick in and Carlitta and just go down from Fort Lauderdale to Key West and naturally use a fun travel guide. This week has been most exciting. We are continuing, as Joseph said, to retool the company much more in a digital manner. And we've added not only an app recently and restyled it so that you can pull it up easily on your mobile device, whether it be Android or a iPhone. Just go to the appropriate app store and download the app, funtravelguides.com, or it's Fun Travel Guides. And I will get rid of that call, sorry. And download the app and check us out. Today I got exciting news from our webmaster, Greg Pachetic, and he's added a brand new feature to our site, and that's going to be a YouTube channel, and it's on Fun Travel Guides. Put fun and travel together, check it out and register and watch our YouTube channel grow. It's our goal to have videos changing once a week, and this will happen over time. So give us a chance to grow. We just put it up today. It went live, and there are a few people who have registered already. Join us. Now, I'm open for questions to keep the ball rolling along, and I'll tell you a few more interesting details and places that you might want to travel to using Fun Travel Guides. Rajee or Mick or Carlitta or host Joseph, questions, please. Woo, I guess everybody wants to hear more.
No, I mean, I think the fact is that we all have lots of questions, and they're all waiting for the next question to come. So I'll start, and then we can go on the round robin. So it goes from me down to Rajee, over to Mick, and then back up to Carlitta. My first question is, can you tell us what's happening? The last time you were on the show, you talked about, well, I should say, no. Oh, I can't divulge that information. That was a separate meeting, that phone call. So I apologize. I got a little confused for a moment.
That's okay. You can ask the question.
All right. So I want to try to focus on people traveling locally first, but then also regionally, because that's the easiest thing for people to do right now. And then in addition to that, I do know, because I had a little bird talk in my ear, that you have much bigger and better things coming down the line, not just in Canada, but also down south of the border, and then also on another continent. So that's my first question for you. I'll let you field that question, Alan Beck, and then that'll give them some time to formulate their next question.
Okay. Travel is going to take a long time to come back to what was considered normal. And when you travel these days, it's a different normal. Social distancing is being practiced where at all possible. And there are people who aren't really respecting that. Locally here in the greater Fort Lauderdale area, there was somebody who walked into a bar without a mask, and when told to put on a mask, literally spit in the bartender's face. This is not the way to behave if you're traveling locally, if you're traveling regionally, if you're traveling statewide, or if you're traveling internationally. Masks are the thing of the day. When you go into a place, use them. You can even get a designer mask. And respect other people's way of doing business. It may not be the way you would do it all the time, but respect that. And in the fact that travel will take so long to come back, it's important for us to realize that the first things that are going to happen with the Fort Lauderdale market is to look at the drive market. What's the drive market? The drive market is the market that comes to Fort Lauderdale for fun, for our wonderful beaches, for our attractions, and for shopping. And they'll come here, and as far away as from Key West, and as far away coming from north to south, from Orlando, Tampa, or St. Petersburg, and come in on the interstates, and then come in on the local roads. And Fun Travel Guides gets you there with our wonderful maps and our wonderful directories that talk about the different categories of business that you might be looking for. Accommodations, dining, bars and clubs, which are just beginning to open at this point, and attractions, and of course point you to the beaches and the other places that you might want to go to. It's easy to see digitally, and it's easy to see on the printed guides themselves. So check us out. Check us out on funtravelguides.com. Check us out on our app, Fun Travel Guides, and just call me up. I'm in the phone book.
Carlitta, do you have any questions for the fabulous Ellen Beck? Because I don't know if you're still there or not, but I saw you change your scenario, your scene. Do you have any questions for Ellen Beck, Carlitta?
I think that I need to take a vacation real soon.
Cool.
And I think I'm gonna have to contact Ellen Beck and get some. I'm not, the type of girl I am. I just, I literally go in a private jet. I'm not big on airplanes, like with large amount of people. I get really nervous being around a large group anymore because a lot of people do disrespect us and they don't wear masks. They don't care. If it's real or not, to some people, wear protection. If you don't care for yourself, just care for us other people that we're trying to make the change. I don't want to end up like another state that's got all these deaths and it's so scary, but I'm just asking for people, even when they come into our spa, to protect. How would you go among nicely asking people because they're still sometimes telling us we will not wear a mask. Like, they don't care. So I tell them, well, you know what? There's a salon right down the road you could go to, because, you know, a lot of the older people, it's hard for them to breathe. So I just make sure that there's one-on-one in my spa. I will not have more than one person working at a time. And I want to make sure that that client is as comfortable as they could be. No matter what service they schedule themselves for, then I'll just make sure for right now that I'm a little bit more protected. But for the younger, rude people, how do you go among telling them, you know what I mean? When there's like a large body of people around, how would you go among telling them?
I get that. I get that, Carlitta, and we're going to get to you in just a moment, but I want to, and I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but,
no, that's okay.
Okay, so, but I do want to see if Rajee has a question for Alan Beck, because it looks like she's been back there kind of like rocking back and forth, like she's got something to ask you. So, Rajee,
I love Rajee.
I see you in the background. I know you got something to ask him.
I got to keep the blood circulating, honey, some way. So I'm like rocking and all kind of things. So anyway, no, I just wanted to say, you've been in the game for like a really long time. And what I wanted to ask you is, from like when you started back many years ago to now, with all the technology and, you know, the world has changed in so many ways, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel with, you know, the technology that we have now, as opposed to like the way it had to be back when you started? We didn't have all this technology. So the pros and cons, what are the pros and cons to you?
That's a very good question. And I'm going to answer it, just going to answer Carlitta briefly, if I may. You asked, how would I answer the person? I'd answer the person in a nice way. And if they comply, great. And if they don't, say, please check out the spa down the road. And I had right on my own block coming home tonight, I had an incident where I was driving south on my avenue, literally 6 houses from my house, and a car pulls on the wrong side of the road in my lane facing me and stops. And a person gets out, and I slowed up and went in the wrong lane to pass, and I stopped and said, would you please move your car? You're in a driving lane. She kept on going and said, I didn't hear you. At that point, I went to my house and just let her be. It's not worth the altercation. Sometimes it's best to stay in your own lane.
Well, Rajee, how about you answer Rajee's question next?
I'm now ready to take on Rajee. I've always been an innovator in the way of technology. I was one of the first people to have a cell phone when it was a large box, and you carried it.
I remember that. Yeah.
Say again?
I said, I remember that.
There you go.
I had one of those when I was in high school in 1992. I had this big giant box. It was ridiculous. I was the only person in high school, and I got a loan to get it. And I still have a bill to GTE MobileNet for it.
And you literally had a receiver like the old phones, and you picked it up, and I don't remember if you dialed the number or what, but it was really like a dial-up phone. So that's my remembrance of how I embrace technology. And we were one of the very first, at that time, gay lesbian websites, funmaps.com, to evidence itself back in 1990. It was built by a man by the name of Matt Skellerud and a company called Gay Wired. And that all through the 90s, that I'm sorry, my dates are wrong. 1999 is when we had a website. And all through the early 2000s, we were booming. And digital was coming on strong and kept on getting stronger. And as it did, we began to add other digital properties to our suite of platforms. Does that end? And I embrace it. I don't shy away from it. I watched my father's company, who was in the replacement field of automotive fabrics. I watched that company and read the handwriting on the wall that it was not going to be a business in business very much longer. And I left that to go into publishing and advertising space sales.
Mick, do you have any questions for the fabulously handsome and dashing Ellen Beck?
I have a quick question. Just with how obviously everything is on pause right now, especially in terms of traveling, but as Fun Travel Guides picks up again, what is a new location that you're hoping to have a guide on in the next, I'd say in the next like 3 years? Like, where's a place that maybe you've been thinking, I've really wanted to put together a travel listing for this particular city?
Great question and good lead in to answer Joseph's kind of subtle remarks earlier. So I don't know if he sent you a secret message asking this question, but here we go. I got a call. I've been on Facebook and Messenger corresponding with somebody by the name of Ray Mack. And and I realized that he knew something about travel. And at one point I said, look, we should expand our conversation from just Messenger and Facebook to that of a phone call. And so the phone rang about a week ago, and I looked on the phone, and sure enough, right on my home screen was the name of somebody who I recognized as Ray McEnroe. Now, not from the US, not from south of the border, but another Southern Exposure, a continent, a continent of Australia.
Oh, okay.
And Ray was a publisher out in Queensland, had a very thriving business and published a newspaper for many years. And he sold it and traveled south to Canberra to open up a hotel down there. And of course, with what happened with COVID-19, the travel industry stopped, and he's had real hard times and lost the hotel. And so the timing was really perfect when he and I were speaking, and I realized that he might be looking for an opportunity. And I mentioned that the opportunity was there. Would he be interested in taking on Australia and doing the major cities of Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth and Canberra? And he said, I'm your man. And we've continued our conversation, and he'll be moving back to Queensland. He's on his way there literally as we're speaking. And in about 2.5 to 3 weeks, we're going to welcome Ray to the Fun Travel Guides family with a lot of
Exciting.
excitement, a lot of joy, and continued growth for our company.
Ooh, great. I'm glad to hear that.
A couple of side stories. I'll tell you one of them real quick. I was sitting in a bar in New York City and talking to the manager, and in walks two gentlemen and sat at the bar next to me, and they begin a conversation, and I recognized a very strong Australian voice. And the Australians are very easy to know that they're having a conversation in Australian English. And so I said, do you happen to be from Australia? And they said, yes. And I said, well, you happen to be from Queensland or know anybody there? They said, yeah, the one guy said, I'm from Queensland. And I said, do you happen to know a man by the name of Ray McEnroe? He said, no, Ray. I know Ray very well. I'm his collection manager.
God.
What do you know?
Sitting in New York, what are the chances of somebody knowing somebody continents away?
That's more than a small world, but my most concern would be the collection manager part of that. But let's focus on the good part instead, because there's enough junk going on already, Alan. So my last question for you is, what can you do to tell our watchers, viewers, and listeners how they can find you the easiest way, all the information that's necessary?
Well, the easiest way for a reader to find us is to go to our website, funtravelguides.com. And you'll see over 38 cities growing in the next week or so to about 44 cities throughout the United States, Canada, Costa Rica, and the country of Colombia in Central America. We're going to be adding Australia over the next few months. That's the easiest way to find us. If you happen to be an advertiser looking to purchase advertising, we just came out with our brand new 2020 and 2021 media kit. And this media kit, Joseph has one too, is also available online on the top right of the screen when you go to funtravelguides.com. So check us out, whether you're a reader and want to do armchair travel, or someone like Carlitta who'd like to find out about new, exciting, exotic places, mundane places, or places that you can be secluded. They're all there on funtravelguides.com and our app, Fun Travel Guides. Check us out.
Thank you.
Joseph.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you
thank
so
you,
much.
Carlitta and Rajee. And
And Mick. Don't forget about Mick. He's down there in the corner.
He looks so cute with his Starbucks cup.
Woohoo! Let's see that Starbucks cup.
Oh, this is from my old job.
Wow.
I
I'm
used to
not-
work at.
How about a Guinness cup?
See, that's better. That's cooler. This
I
is
got-
just something that I got because I worked at Starbucks for many years.
I got my coffee cup. You never know what's going to be in here. It could be coffee. It could be whiskey. It could be beer. It could be vodka. So, end of the story is, you never know what's in my magic cup. It's my magic cup. So, but anyways,
It's time for me to sign off, Joseph.
yes,
So
I know.
thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you so much, Alan. I greatly appreciate it.
Bye now.
Bye.
All right,
Bye, Alan.
All right, so I got to tell everyone who's watching still about Cat Rio Cuts. CatRioCuts.com. Cat provides a custom haircut that will definitely suit your individual personality, just like me. You'll never have to worry about looking like anyone else ever again. You can stand out from all the rest. Cat Rio will come to your house 7 days a week, and she'll make your life a lot easier. You can stay safer at home, just like me. I don't leave the house really much at all, just do grocery shopping and whatnot. So if you live in the Fort Lauderdale area near Wilton Manors, you just got to text her. Make your life easier. Call 954-984-4040. That's 954-984-4040. Or visit her website, www.catriocuts.com. That's K-A-T, Rio, K-U-T-S.com. In addition to that, WeGo LLC is a local company that operates here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that services Wilton Manors, Middle Rotarius, and also Oakland Park areas as well. You can pre-plan with them and make your life a lot easier during these stress-filled times. Need a ride to or from work? Need your grocery store shopping done? They even do your laundry services. You can leave your dirty laundry out front. They'll pick it up, wash it, dry it, fold it, and bring it right back to you. No contact, no touch options. Make things safe for you and the drivers or delivery people as well. They will be wearing face masks and shields, in addition to washing and sanitizing after every passenger inside of the car. Visit www.wegollc.app to learn more. Plan your trip at least 24 hours in advance because services are subject to availability. Don't forget, WeGoLLC.app. That's WEEGO LLC.app. Contact them today. You will not regret it. Minuteman Press in Wilton Manors is where they design, print, and promote you. They'll do it for you. It's their business to help your business grow. Minuteman Press is there for all of your printing needs, from business cards, flyers, just like the one he just showed, magazines, decals for the side of the car. Make sure to call them. It's 954-731-5300. That's Minuteman Press. It's located in Fort Lauderdale, just south of Wilton Drive on 4th Avenue. Just call them, 954-731-5300. That's 954-731-5300 today to learn more. Tell them my Southern Exposure sent you. It might help you. I don't know for sure, but it should help you. So, the next thing we should talk about is our psychic. I'm looking at my phone off to the side because she's already supposed to be waiting for me, but I don't see her yet. So she might be running a couple minutes late, but we got enough stuff to talk about for probably 10 hours. So let's go back to the topics. Rajee, Mick, Carlitta, you all have open mics. So big pharmacy was my big topic for the night as Mick takes a little stretch. And the other was mainstream media advertising. I'm going to toss it to whoever talks first, and then I can pull up the rest of the information and try to track down our psychic. Apparently, she forgot to call.
All good. I guess if we're going back to Big Pharma again, I kind of wanted to reiterate what Rajee was talking about in terms of the fact that I think that while obviously it is important to know your medical history and to go over certain types of medication with your doctor to determine whether or not something is going to be safe for you, it just goes without saying that certain medications are going to affect people differently than others. And while I think that there is definitely there have been people who probably have suffered kidney damage from Truvada and from PrEP. I'm not discounting that that has happened. I think that has to do more. That has to do with the fact that, with like what Joseph was talking about, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to medication. Certain people are going to need different medications and different types of medications. But because of that, I don't think that we can write off the importance of what medication does. Like, there are countless types of medications out there, like retrovirals, that HIV positive people can take so that they can stay healthy, and that have been proven to prolong people's lives and make their lives a lot better. So that's an example of the pharmacy and pharmaceuticals that are good. And I think it's one of those things where at this point in the game, not that pharmaceuticals in and of themselves are evil. It's more so that the business that is behind them and the people who are profiting from them are the ones who are making it just ultimately more dangerous and more costly for people like us. But I see that also our guest has also arrived now. So I think I'm going to wrap that up, and I'm going to pass it back to Joseph again.
Oh, there she is. Did you see it? They saw me. I was rubbing my crystal ball.
Yeah, I've seen.
How are
So
you, sweetheart?
Good. I'm sorry I'm late. I've been having a little bit of problems with the computer. So.
Well, the funny part is you're a psychic. So how do you not know they're going to have a problem?
Well, I know, because I'm not that good with the computer. You know that.
I'm joking. And the funny part is they're probably like, why would you ask her a question like that? But all joking aside, Sabrina, how is everything going for you this week?
Thank God.
We've talked to you for 2 weeks.
Everybody's okay. I thank God for that. So, and how is everybody here? Nice to meet everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Well, you already know the fabulous Rajee in the corner, and also Mick. He had more curly hair the last time he was on the show.
And I'm the beautiful lady here that I'd never met before.
That's Carlitta. She's our Cleveland connection.
Oh, okay. I have a lot of good friends from Cleveland.
Oh, good. Well, I'm excited to meet you, Sabrina. I've heard nothing but beautiful things about you.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness gracious. If we have any more accolades, I'm going to have to get a vomit bag. All right. So all joking aside, let's talk about what we're doing with you, Sabrina. And by the way, I love the new background.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my goodness gracious. It feels like I could get a massage there or something. It looks absolutely beautiful. And I love your top and your makeup. I love the updo. All right, let's focus on what we're doing, because I did it last week. I told people about what we are going to offer, and you and I have discussed it, and the co-hosts already know what we're going to do. So you let them know from your perspective what's going to happen. And if you need some direction, I will stop you from talking and tell you what to say.
Like, in what perspective? What are you talking? Like, just picking up?
All right. So then, no. I'll just go into it. So basically, for everyone at home, Sabrina, our psychic, will be doing a 5-minute reading for you live on a future show. And that person will just have to jump on the call, just like Sabrina and everyone else did. Have a camera, and that person will get a free reading for 5 minutes, which is beyond ridiculously lovely. So she will give you a vibration reading, and she'll tell you about what that reading will be about. Sabrina, I kick it back down to you.
Yes, it tells you about, well, I could do a tarot card reading or a voice vibration reading, which is going to tell you about past, present, future, revealing names, detailed, and to love life. And I'm not a judgmental person. I want everybody to be open and feel like they could ask me any questions at all. And I believe that they would really enjoy a reading with me.
I am certain that they would, but the most important part of you being on the show is for you to be able to communicate with people directly that are close to you. Can you tell people how they can get a hold of you, what your email address is, phone number, if you have a location they can go to, or how you're doing stuff?
I'm located here in Delray Beach. I'm at 152 Southeast Fifth Avenue in Delray. You can reach me at 954-487-7008. My email address is psychicsabrina01@gmail.com. You can ask me any questions over the phone. You can call me for an appointment. Either way, we could, everybody started seeing each other, so we could either do it in person. If you're not comfortable doing that, you just give me a call or email me.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that one more time, just to make certain, because it might take someone an extra second to get a pen that works. Sometimes your pen doesn't work, and you got to write it down. Go ahead and tell them it again.
My address is 152 Southeast Fifth Avenue, Delray Beach, and my email address is psychicsabrina01@gmail.com. You could also reach me by phone, which is 954-487-7008.
I want to defer to my co-hosts. I don't know which one wants to go to first. Usually it's Rajee and then Mick. So Rajee, do you have a quick question for Sabrina, or Mick and then Carlitta? You can go after Mick.
Well, how you doing, doll baby? I actually wanted to ask you, are you also able to communicate with spirits on the other side, or is that not your?
Well, that's not my expertise, but yes, if there's a message, usually when I'm picking up on somebody and they want to tune in, a lot of times I can pick up on that energy. It doesn't always come through. So there are specialists at that, but I do specialize in love and career and all different matters of life. But about picking up on the other side, so many times I've picked up on people and give them messages and connect with them.
Yeah, I was just curious if you had that ability also.
Yes, yeah. But you know, it's sometimes you tune in. Sometimes there's a lot of times that, you know, picking up, I could have a complete conversation with somebody, connecting, being that third party where they're having a full conversation. That's happened many of them.
Wow, wow. Mick?
Thank you for that, Rajee. And kind of going off from there, this is kind of I don't want to say that it's like a harder question, but it is one that I was just kind of curious about, because I know that I guess my first question would be is, you don't obviously consider what you do to be like a hard, science is not right the word, but a hard specific practice. Like there's a lot of things that are open to interpretation, and that it's kind of more of a
answer you to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah.
I did not like study this and practice it. It was not something that I was looking to do. You understand? I grew up as a kid, I would pick up on people, yes, but I wasn't scared of it, because as I told you, it's generational. My grandmother, my great grandmother, they was all very gifted. They was more of healers, a lot of them. And as I gotten older, I then developed more of my gift, that where I could be walking down the street and picking up on somebody's whole life story without even, you know, having a conversation with them a lot of times. Sometimes just hearing the sound of their voice, knowing so much about them. So yeah, there is more of enhancing your gift by meditation and, you know, looking more into it. But it was not something that I studied into. It was something passed down to me.
But like you were kind of saying, it's like it's something that you've worked on, and it's something that you've gotten better at. And that does kind of segue into my next question. And this is not meant to be like an accusation or anything, but everyone messes up on their jobs. Like I know that I've messed up press releases with typos. I know that other people, I'm sure, can say as well that they've, like, whether they're in advertising, they also hit a typo, or they're an accountant and they put in the wrong combination of numbers. How do you deal with, like,
that? Like a couple of times, like somebody would come into my office and say, I want to do a reading, and I would be straight out with them. I'm like, I can't pick up nothing on your energy. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course. And there's times where you could just not even have a conversation with somebody and pick up on their whole life and then talk to them, and they're amazed just by hearing their voice or them passing by. And then there was a couple, it didn't happen a lot. I could count it maybe 2 or 3 times in my life that somebody came and I couldn't pick up nothing on their energy.
For sure. No, I was just curious about that, but thank you.
Of course, we're human. We all,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. I mean, we're human, and so no one is going to be completely accurate all the time. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure you've had your times where you hit it right on the head, and then maybe other times where you were around it, but maybe not completely right on the head.
Well, I'll tell somebody straight out. If something shows, then it'll be right on point. And if I'm not sure about something, I'll tell them it's a little bit like it shows so much of this is happening. So it's if I'm tuning with your energy, then I'm tuning with your energy.
Oh,
Well, actually, that brings up a good topic because whoever the person is who wins this 5-minute reading, if they call in and you don't feel nothing,
Mhm.
that's fine. Then you can talk to them separately. Ideally, I would love for you to have a reading that is genuine and that you pick up on their vibrations and whatnot.
Yes.
But that would be the best thing. But the end result is that whoever gets the reading, it's going to benefit them. I was just hoping. I think I'm gonna do a little prayer and a little thing on my own to make certain that it works out the way that it's
For
supposed
sure,
to.
Philip.
But
That's happened like, believe, twice in my life.
yeah.
So,
All right. So
as many
all
years
right.
ago to
I got so many questions for you. All right.
Sure.
So do you know anything about dreams? Because I have vivid dreams every single night where I remember every single thing. And Rajee's heard about some of those dreams. Mick
is
has
it the
not heard
same
about those.
thing that keeps reoccurring.
No, many different dreams. It's like everyday dreams that I have, but the reoccurring part is that I always see all of my previously deceased family members every single night. And
And
it's everyday stuff. Like I argue, I get mad at them. We talk about stuff. It's when I go to sleep, it's not like I'm sleeping.
all
We're
right.
like it's like my day continues.
I hate to cut you off, but I'm going to ask you something.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing your past members recently, these couple months, or is it always like that?
Always like that.
Okay, because a lot of people get warnings, and that's why they'll see somebody from the past that's passed on. They'll either, if they're missing their energy or want to visit the family, or if it's a warning, they come in. But you have a something about you where your energy is very strong, is able to handle that. I just feel like they connect with you, and I don't think it's a bad thing whatsoever.
It feels really good because I get
No,
to
I
see.
feel like they want to tell you something. They want to connect with you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's regular stuff. Like I'll be washing dishes, and my grandmother will start arguing with me. I'm like, shut up, leave me alone. I'm washing the dishes.
You're with
It's like
them.
stupid stuff.
It's really, it's like an outer body experience.
No, it definitely is. It
Feel like
definitely is.
it
Oh,
doesn't feel like a dream, and then you wonder, did I even sleep, or is this that's the outer body experience?
I don't really sleep because, and then my other question is, I didn't realize I was going to be focusing on me. I hope you two don't mind, but I'm asking another question. So I have the dream, I should say, every night that I fall asleep, I fly. I fly all the time. Every night that I fall asleep, I fly. So it's just different levels of me flying. Sometimes I'm out in outer space looking down at the planet, and then
Yeah, but
sometimes
that's because you have a very strong aura, and that's an actual gift. You could connect with people so much, and that's why. Where you're flying, that's not just something ordinary. That's showing that your gift is above your body. That means you could tune with people. People rely on you. They can connect with you. So that's a very good thing. And seeing the people who's passed on, they usually come for warnings or just visiting the family. It's so often. We're seeing them on a daily basis. That is a gift.
Oh, good Lord. Jesus. You know what? All joking aside, my little crystal ball. And actually, you know what? The funny thing is when I do this, I don't know if you can see it, it kind of shines.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know if
see
you can see
in the
that.
camera.
Isn't that strange? I don't know if either of you can see that. It's a little strange, but this crystal ball came from a former customer of mine who passed, and his daughter gave it to me. She said, pick something out of the house. And this is 10 years ago. She said, pick a gift, pick some item out of the house and take it with you. And I chose this. And I really don't know why, but I was drawn to it. So I think it's appropriate that I still have it.
You've always been very spiritual as a kid as well?
Oh yeah. I've had dreams about things a long time ago.
But
Long
you're
time
also very connected into nature and
Yes. Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry. I just had to ask her those two quick questions. I'm so sorry, Rajee. I'm so sorry, Mick. I'm not. No, Mick said he's done. Rajee, do you have something to say? Because I want to just wrap things up for the night so we can all say good night. But Rajee, do you have a question for her really quickly or no?
Oh, no, I'm good. I'll get a question in the next time. Don't worry.
I'm so sorry, Sabrina. I apologize. Some things that you said made me like, I had to ask him, like, you couldn't see my eyes just light up. Like I had to ask you right
I
instantly.
can't wait to meet all of you, to be honest.
Oh my God. Well, the good thing is that you and Rajee and I can probably be in the same studio. I should say the back of the house, because we can sit 6 feet apart in the back of the house, the three of us.
Of course.
I got a beautiful little backyard, and we can sit at least, and Rajee knows, she's been at the back bar before. It's a
I
big.
said I can't wait to meet you, but you know what? I done met you. This is
No, I know that, but
it's been a pleasure of mine.
it'll be so good for, like, you can sit on one, Rajee can sit on one side, I can sit on the other side, and you can sit in the middle, and then Mick can be the little talking head off to the side. But then we can actually have the three of us together at the house where I'm recording this stuff as well. We're so close to each other. The three of us are very lucky. And then once we can afford to fly Mick over here, when we get a bigger studio, then we'll have Mick fly in once a week or something. But I want to thank you, Sabrina. Just remind everyone at home how they can get a hold of you.
Yes, you can reach me at 954 954-487-7008. And it's 152 Southeast 5th Avenue, Delray Beach. Psychic Sabrina 01@gmail.com.
That's the most important part there, Sabrina. Thank you so much. And I lovingly call you Sabrina the Good Witch. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's bad, but, and Rajee knows. And so I got so many thoughts in my head, I can't help it. I apologize.
Like so many
Hopefully that's
people,
not offensive.
they want to be the teenage witch. I'm like, okay, if you want to call me that, that's fine.
I'm joking. It's Psychic Sabrina. I apologize. Don't pay attention to what I just said a moment ago. So thank you so much, Psychic Sabrina, and everyone knows how to get a hold of you. So I just want to finish up with
everybody. Keep safe. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and take care.
Yeah, thanks for coming by.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nice meeting you.
Apparently, Carlitta is back as well, so that's lovely. Just give me one
Carlitta,
second.
actually, like the accent before I go.
Oh, exactly. Carlitta, do you have a question for Sabrina?
I could wait until next time, but I feel like there's a lot to talk about. I've got, I think, psychic abilities too, just like you, Joe. Same thing. I see a lot of my family members. I always have, and I could feel things when I'm working on them.
Yes, but I definitely, from the moment I seen you, I would actually like to do a full reading with you if you want to call me at any time. And
definitely.
I would do a reading for you.
Yes, because when I'm working on my clients, it's really strange, but it's like I could get inside of them and I literally feel like I'm put on this earth to like pull out the bad in. I could feel if they're hurting, or I could feel if they're upset about something. I could feel it.
To pick
And
it
I
up,
feel
I
it.
want to tell you how to handle that, because when you do pick it up, I don't want you just bringing it onto yourself, because it might, get you off center, but you do have that about you where you could draw that energy. You have something that
I try to spread good love.
Yes, you do. You have a great energy, though, a great aura, a good personality. You
What
also
color
need
am
to
I?
find your own track. You need to find yourself. You're actually into pinks, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes. So you need to get to your true aura, which is
My
more.
workers, a
You need to
psychic
go
had told her that she was black.
What is it?
One of my workers was told by a psychic that her aura is black.
Your aura changes. It could be if you're in a bad mood. It could be, your aura constantly changes. It depends the mood you're in. The reason why you get pink a lot is because you're always a loving person. You're always want to see a smile on other people. You're always connecting with others. You're concerned about others. You always put yourself last all the time. I think you got to make some time for yourself to get yourself where you want to be.
But by the same token, I have a question for you now that she brought the aura colors up. Is black is the combination of every color, so it's not necessarily bad. Am I mistaken by saying that?
Yes. Black energy.
I'm mistaken by saying it?
Yeah,
It's not good.
No, it's not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If somebody is vicious or upset or violent, it's not your common color. The colors that you're going to see in an aura, and the colors of the rainbow, because those are the colors that reflect inside of us.
I have a question. What color am I?
Because let me tell you why. The rainbow is the promise. Do you understand? Your aura is your promise. That's what puts you in the right place at the right time. You can have a job opportunity, but it's not going to go well if your aura was not at a good place at the right time. So people think it's luck. It's not. It's energy. Very, very strong. Your aura.
What color am I?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what color you are, but you could probably already know it. You're in a deep purple, and you do go back into, you're connected with purple for some reason. It always is the best of your astrological sign to you.
You hit it on the head.
But you knew
even in my third eye, in my third eye, it's purple or violet
It's
okay,
good.
so
It's always
all right. So what's Mick down there?
Nick is always flexing from green, and he always goes to like a seafoam green. He goes to a lot of turquoise greens. He stays in that direction all the time.
I see that.
Okay, so then I guess
he's thinking about numbers. He's thinking about things like that. So
I guess I'm gonna have to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to pay you now or something. We're gonna find something to pay you. What's my color?
Blues. You're always in the blues, but it's not in a bad way. It's in a good way. Your energy flexes from such a light blue, which is very, very rare, because to see such an aura like that, you're talking about powder blues, things like that, very strong. That shows a connection. So you're a people person for sure.
Oh, goodness gracious. You know what?
And Joe, blue is very approachable. That's why firemen, policemen, that's why people, it's a very approachable color.
Yes, it is.
Well, don't let anybody know that I'm nice, because it's better if they think that I'm mean. All right, so thank you so much, Sabrina. I greatly appreciate you coming on the show today, and we will be having you back at least once a month at the minimum. Whenever you have time or whenever you want to talk, it'll be definitely a good thing.
Are welcome to call me at any time, really. I would love to talk to you and do a reading or ask questions. Not a problem.
All right, thank you so much, Sabrina. I just have to talk about a couple companies and then it's the end of the show. So we unfortunately have to let everyone go home. The first one is WeGo LLC. They are a local company that operates here in Fort Lauderdale that services Wilton Manors, Middle River Terrace, and Oakland Park areas as well. If you pre-plan with them, you can make your life a lot easier during these stress-filled times. Need a ride to or from work? Need your grocery shopping done? They even take care of your dirty laundry. You leave it outside. They pick it up, wash it, return it. No contact, no touch options. Make things safe for you and the drivers or delivery people as well. They will be wearing face masks and shields in addition to each passenger going into or out of the car. They will sanitize it. Visit wegollc.app to learn more. Plan your trip 24 hours in advance because services are subject to availability. Don't forget, that's wegollc.app. Contact them today. You will not regret it. If you are looking for a cleaning solution in the Wilton Manors, Middle River Terrace, or Fort Lauderdale area, do I have the answer for you? Yes, I do. I do got the answer for you. It's trustworthy cleaners. They have been cleaning houses, vacation rentals, pools, boats, and cars for over 10 years. They do have some new procedures and protective measures, but they are open and ready to serve you. Now with no contact options to keep you and their employees safe. Email them directly at trustworthycleaners33304@gmail.com. They have excellent references. They use local workers. You can help support a local business today by reaching out to them at trustworthycleaners33304@gmail.com. And I have to tell you about Llama Dam Supermarket. It's right 2 blocks away from where I live. Perfect if you are looking for a great deal on produce, meats, or everyday grocery items. They're a great option if you live right here in the neighborhood. So my partner and I shop there all the time. We make our little drinks in the morning. We get our fresh turmeric and ginger root and all that kind of stuff that Carlitta knows all about. But you can make some healthy drinks that way. It's good for you. Their address is 1548 Northeast 4th Avenue. That's 1548 Northeast 4th Avenue here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Their phone number is 954-314-7489. That's 954-314-7489. You should check them out for yourself, though. You don't have to trust me, but you would be helping to support a locally owned small business on your next grocery trip out. So that's Llama Dam Supermarket, 954-314-7489. Don't forget to tell them that my Southern Exposure sent you. So it's the end of the show. Unfortunately, everyone has to go to bed. I'm tired. I'm sure everyone else is as well. Next week's show is going to be, I decided, and I already sent it to the Boys and Girls Club. It's going to be about mental and physical health for humans as well as our pets.
That's important. I like this.
Very important. Very important to talk about human health as well as pet health, because all this stress we're going through is definitely probably affecting our pets as well. And oh my goodness gracious, it's 9:20. So Mick, let's go with Rajee. Say goodbye. We're way past our time.
Well, everyone, we had another fantastic show, and I'm looking forward to this next week. We'll see what we have to talk about next week when we do our updates. I'm hoping this will be a better week for me, and I won't be in an emergency room. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll pass it over to Nick.
Same as Rajee. Glad that all of you guys tuned in, and hope you guys have a great week. As always, stay informed, stay active, and do the right thing. I mean, that's kind of all you can kind of ask people to do right now, which I guess my thing would be wear a mask. Just wear a mask. Wherever you're going, just wear a mask. It's not hard. Just put it on. Even if it's a bandana, if it's a scarf, whatever it is. Make it out of a sock. Just make a mask. You need a mask. Wear a mask. Now to Joseph.
I'm going to follow up with that. Wear a mask. It's pretty simple. So,
Yes.
but I'm going to pass it over to Carlitta for a second, and I'm going to leave you, Sabrina, to leave the last closing statement. So let's kick it over to Carlitta to see what she has to say. Are you there, Carlitta?
Just have a beautiful time. Please wear your mask. But it's been a pleasure being with all of you once again. And I hope to see you next week.
Sabrina, it's up to you to say goodbye, Sabrina. What do you got to
Yes,
say?
and I would like everybody to keep safe, but most of all, do not be afraid. Keep your faith in the Lord. That's the biggest thing that you could do, and everybody's got to stand strong. And just, everybody needs to remember, yes, it's social distancing and all of that, but everybody's got to inspire. We all got to help one another. Let's not forget that. Let's all still love each other, care for each other. So yes, wear your mask, be protective, but let's not forget about love most of all. Love your neighbor.
Amen. 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 Wow.
Amen to that. And all I have to say is amen to our over 9,000 viewers that we've had in four weeks. So if you want to get a hold of Rajee, that's Rajee at mySouthernExposure.site. If you want to get a hold of Mick, that's Mick at mySouthernExposure.site. If you want to get a hold of me, Joseph at mySouthernExposure.site. And if you are interested in advertising, brand new one, advertising at mySouthernExposure.site. No matter where you live, where you are, this is a global idea, My Southern Exposure. So you can get in contact with us and we can help you. We have great advertising rates available no matter where you are. Local businesses are part of what we want to focus on, as well as international, local, and regional companies. So don't forget to tune in next week. I want to thank everyone, and I hope everyone has a good week. We will see you next week at mySouthernExposure.site. Thank you all.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.